All right, everybody, it's Justin Clark here with Veterans Referring Veterans, and I'm super excited because we've got one of our newest members on board, 51bravo. And Shawn, welcome to the VRV, dude. Thanks for sitting down with us and giving us some of your time. And tell us tell us a bit about yourself and your service, brother.
Well, no, I appreciate you taking the time to do a little interview here, man. Every little bit helps, right?
Yeah.
Basically, I was active duty Army back in the late 80s as enlisted as a 51bravo, which is carpenter and mason. If you did not know that, that is a true MOS in the Army. So that's what I did. And I ended up getting out early to pursue the Green to Gold program. I went to Western Michigan University and got my butter bar there. And that whole time, I was an assistant platoon leader in an engineer unit, National Guard unit in Battle Creek, Michigan, and eventually became platoon leader of vertical construction unit in Battle Creek. So overall, I think I did 2 years active and then 5 in the Guard.
Oh, right on. That's awesome. So how was that program? You mentioned that program, and I think, because we'll have some civilian listeners and stuff. Can you kind of just explain that program and maybe for new soldiers that are kind of curious about it?
Yeah, I went to a year of community college after high school, and I was going to join right out of high school and kind of got cold feet and decided I should do something, right? So, and junior college for me was like 13th grade. I needed a little bit more of a challenge than that. So I ended up joining, but I got 30 credits, and when I was stationed in Fort Rucker, Alabama, at I believe the only engineer unit in the entire post. It's all aviation there, so we were outnumbered. But I found out that if you have 2 years of service and if you have 30 college credits, you can then apply to get out early. I was signed up for 4, but you can get out early. You got to jump through a lot of hoops, as you can imagine. And get approved, not only all the way up through, I think I had to interview all the way up through brigade, and then be approved through your school and be accepted, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, so I was able to get out after 2 years of enlisted service. And then, so I had all the opportunities with the GI Bill and everything. So it worked out really well. I was in the Guard at that time as well. So I was getting my GI Bill money, I was getting my National Guard money, and I was working part-time, so it worked out well. I didn't know a dime for school when it was all
Wow. Yeah, that's great. It was funny because just last night, actually, I was talking to my daughters, and, because they're in high school, they're getting ready to, thinking about college, and I was telling them how, that's what I did too. I went to the community college right after high school, then joined the military, but then getting out of the military is like, what do we do? Let's go to community college. But it was good though, because you're getting your education, and you're getting paid at the same time. So, and my daughter's like, what do you mean it's free and they're actually paying you? So we had to explain a lot. So, but I'm still not letting them join the military. So
it's definitely a different world now.
Yeah. So what years were you in?
I was in 86 to 88 on active duty, and then 88 through, I guess it would be 93 in the National Guard.
Fair enough. Awesome. Yeah. So now, and you're out in Michigan, correct?
Yes.
So right on. And
right here. Can't do that in Colorado, can you?
Yeah.
Well, you can.
Well, mine's a little it's a little different there. So but yeah, man. So you're a bladesmith now, or knife maker. What's the proper term for you?
I say bladesmith because I do. There are a couple different ways to make a knife, and one of them is called stock removal, where you're just going to take a bar of steel and cut, grind, remove everything that doesn't look like a knife. Not necessarily forge it, but now I say now, but I also forge knives as well, which basically heating them up. They say heat, beat, and repeat. So. But I'm not a blacksmith by any way, shape, or form. Blacksmiths are so much more talented than I can even imagine. A true blacksmith, a knife is like the easiest thing in the world to make. It's straight. Those guys can do everything. So I use the word bladesmith.
Oh, okay, right on. Now, because you said you were a carpenter and stuff in the military, was that kind of, or what basically got you started into doing this now? And did the military provide any insight into anything you're like that you carried over into what you're doing now?
I mean, not necessarily from a bladesmith standpoint. I've always been in construction my entire life.
Okay.
In fact, my degree was construction management. I was a construction superintendent. I now own my own residential construction business that I kind of do. I'm trying to make the bladesmith thing full time, but I haven't quite gotten there yet. So, always been construction. Just metal is different. It was always stuff made out of wood. If it's made out of wood, I can handle it. But metal has only been the last 4 years. My brother actually got into it. Started making knives, and he'd give me one. I'd be like, okay, cool. I'm a hunter. I can always use a knife, whatever. And just one day, I decided, I wonder if I can make one of those things. So, the first thing most of us do is take an old file and heat it up and, make a knife, what I call a knife-shaped object out of it. And it's basically a prison shank.
That's what I was gonna say. The first one felt like a prison shank.
Like sharpening it on the cement and stuff. They're awful, but you got to start somewhere. And I guess it's kind of stuck. I've always enjoyed making things with my hands, and this one has just been sticking. I really like it.
So it's kind of, and I get this a lot from like woodworkers, pretty much everybody doing their business. But I'm assuming you kind of like your sense of therapy with stuff as well.
Yes. Yeah. It's crazy because, like today I have to do some stuff, but most days I will go out and build for an 8-hour day. Like I'm starting a deck for a person this week. I'll swing a hammer all day out there, then I'll come swing a hammer in here for therapy. I don't understand that, but that's how it works out,
Right on, right on. Well, you've got some of your products down there on that barrel, so you want to explain some of them and show them off?
Yeah, I just these are some of the things that I had in the shop right now for various things. So I wanted to kind of show all the different possible things. Like this one here, this was the one that I had in the photograph. I don't know how well you can see it.
Yeah, we can see it. Yeah.
Okay, this is the one I had in the photograph for that giveaway that you were nice enough to promote for me. So this is a skinning knife that's very popular around here, especially this time of year. We're all whitetail hunters here in Michigan. So this one does a real good job as far as being a skinning knife, especially for whitetail. Yeah. And it goes all over the place. I work with a decoy company. They hand-carve decoys. And they wanted to have like a bird and trout knife.
Yeah.
To sell as part of their line. So this was the prototype. I kind of did all the bells and whistles on this one. The ones we do for them are a little bit more simple, but so we just kind of created this one together. Again, it's kind of designed for, small fowl, like, just doing the breasting and all that thing. It's kind of delicate work. You don't need, you don't need one of these for that. So,
no, I see you're getting ready for Halloween.
Yeah, right. These big ones, it never fails. People want a chopper. People want something huge. This actually was an old leaf spring.
Really?
Yeah, leaf springs are probably the best steel. That's called spring steel. So you can work with it. You can heat treat it. You don't need a bunch of special equipment, and it's just, as you can imagine, this is just a glorified lawnmower blade, basically.
Yeah, you're right.
This particular design was they used to issue these to British soldiers around World War II. They call it a go-lock. So it's specifically designed, but I use this sucker all the time. It is a brush clearing, machine. So
yeah, right on.
Things like this is just your standard camp knife. I made the steel, Damascus steel here. You probably can't see, I've got pictures on my site, but that's 3 layers of steel that I forge welded together, so you can see some wavy lines. With different layers of steel. So, and then my most recent, I have a guy, he wants to carve decoys with a hatchet.
Wow.
Whether that's a good idea or not, I don't know. But so I basically made a really small, really short, something that you can choke up on, and it's sharpened
Yeah.
in such a way. So, you know, I kind of do the myriad. I've done belt knives. I like to interact with a customer and just see what kind of crazy stuff they want. They
Now
want
where
made and see if I can make it. You know?
so
Yeah.
and especially with the axes too, because I know a lot of people are getting into the axe throwing and all that
Yep.
stuff. So I might have some connections for you with that. But
Yep.
so the handles themselves too, are you making those handles there in your
It
shop?
depends. Yeah, it depends on like this one here. That's just straight hickory. I cut this out and carved it myself.
Cool.
Um, yeah, a lot of these are what they call stabilized wood.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you're familiar with the term burl.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, burl. They take a burl, dry it all out, and basically put it in vacuum,
Mm-hmm.
and that it absorbs a resin
Yeah.
inside of it, and then heat it. So now this thing it's a burl, which is very unstable. It's a disease in a tree, but it
Right.
comes out beautiful. But once the resin's in there, there's no finish on it. That's just polished.
Wow.
So you can create all kinds of cool stuff. So I have different people. Like this one is actually sassafras, a
Hmm.
piece that I bought. That's a Kephart knife that a lot of bushcrafters use. I have different people that do the stabilization for me.
Yeah.
Um, the one I tried it myself, and there's a big. The way I just explained it is yes, that's how it works, but it's nowhere near that easy. So you have to decide. Okay, am I making knives? Am I making stabilized wood? I would love to do it, but it's way more involved, and I leave it to the pros. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Right on.
so but yeah, I use wood. I use they have a bunch of different things like canvas, paper. They can make what's called micarta, which is a bunch of layers under pressure and with resin again.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get some cool effects with that. I do a lot of handles from like olive drab canvas, believe it or
Yeah.
not, but it makes a cool looking handle.
I wonder if some of my woodworkers want to collaborate with you in making some handles, because I don't know how much, because you're fresh on the VRV, and we've got some of these woodworkers, especially with their resin stuff, that make some incredible products.
Yeah,
So
I would
actually,
love that.
yeah,
Yeah,
actually, I'll show you. So I got a couple actually on my table. I'll show you after this video. Um, but
yeah, that'd be
yeah.
cool.
No, I saw too on your when I was, obviously thumbing through your stuff there. Do you do laser engraving? Because I saw on a couple of your blades, it looked like there was some laser engraving done.
No, in fact I have a buddy of mine not too far from here. His company is called Custom Engraving. He does engraving
Yeah.
for me, and then
Oh,
some of
okay.
the stuff I have one of those little personalizer etching machines
Right.
that you can use the electrolyte to do it, but that's a little sketchy for me because you got a million hours into this thing, and the last thing you do is put that logo, and then you put it on this much crooked, and so
So I can't send you the VRV logo, and you can just get out a Dremel and go to town.
I could, if you wanted it to look like your kid did it with a crayon. Then yeah, I could do that. Yeah.
Oh, it's funny. Well, that's awesome, man. I love it. It's really cool what you're doing. And like I said, we just put you out this morning, and you're lighting up pretty good. So I think you're gonna have some hits here real soon. So
Awesome.
that's cool, man. That's really cool. But yeah, so if people are interested, they watch this video, they're interested in purchasing a product. Because one, too, I forgot I wanted to bring up is you do the custom work as well. So
Yeah.
sorry, I wanted to dab into that a little bit before I throw out your personal stuff. But yeah, so what I don't know. What do you do for like people? Like what's some of the craziest things you've done as far as custom work for people?
Yeah, if I would have been a little bit more prepared, I'm doing one right now. There's a guy that wants, I don't know if you're familiar with a blade called a kukri.
No, I'm
It,
not.
it looks like a boomerang. It's
Oh, really?
bent. Yeah. And I
Oh,
just forged out the main shape this morning, but it literally has a dog. If you picture the state of Florida, that's what this knife looks like, honestly.
huh.
So
Well,
it's got a big heavy end and it's got a curve, and a lot of I think it comes from like native cultures clearing the jungle, things like that.
oh,
So
okay.
it's super effective in that regard. But kukris in knife collectors world, that's a big deal. People like kukris, survivalist types.
Mm-hmm.
They like kukris. I've teamed up with a number of people, like a couple different people from the survival show Alone
Hmm.
and Naked and Afraid, and have made blades for those people as well. So I get a cool insight as to these are the people who are out there for just days and weeks at a time.
Yeah.
So they can tell me exactly what they need.
Right on.
It's fun to make stuff for them. So,
right on. And he had pictures of a railroad tie that you kind of like twisted for the handle and then came into the blade. Looks super cool. So that one I think a lot of people picking up on online there. So that's pretty cool.
It's been a little while. Just I had somebody find it and give it to me, and I just decided that was literally my first one. But yeah, it came out really neat.
Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah, it was really neat. So, well, that's awesome. So, jumping back, if someone wants to order from you, what's the best way to get in contact with you besides going on the VRV?
Yeah, besides doing that, I mean, I'm on Instagram, so at 51bravo, and respond to those. I'm also on Facebook, facebook.com/51bravo.
Okay.
And then I also have my website, which I have some of my base models pictured in there with a gallery, and that's just 51bravo.com. So any one of those you can
they just
find.
shoot you a message if they wanted something custom through all those. Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, that's sweet, Shawn. It's really cool what you're doing. I'm super excited to have you on the VRV. So
yeah, I'm happy to be here because I've just been more, I'm 52 now, just been more looking into some of the benefits that exist in our veterans society. And yours is one of them, but there's just so many things out there. And it already appears that our veteran community is just so much more responsive and supportive of each other.
Yes, absolutely. So, and even because I've got two other bladesmiths, on the VRV.
Yeah,
but I know, those guys are great, and I know they, that's one of the cool things that it's not like the competition. It's all about helping each other out and boosting each other's businesses. So I know, they'd love to reach out to you, and probably vice versa with you, where if you need any tips or whatever, like how'd you do that, they'd be willing to share that information. And that's what I've really loved about this whole community that we've had growing here. So it's cool.
Yeah.
So
same with the bladesmith community or knife makers in general. Rarely do you meet a person where they're like, "Hey, don't look at this." They're always very helpful, very supportive, and so the veterans community we're similar in that regard. So.
Yeah, because even though you're making knives, but everybody's got their own unique spin on it, and so it's great. So I love each and every one of them. So that's cool. Well, right on, Shawn. I don't know. Do you got anything else to say before we sign off?
Well, I guess I just want to say that, I appreciate the opportunity to do this little chat. And, I'm going to do what I can to promote your website as well, or your page. And I've already been doing a little shopping amongst some of the other people that are on your site. So I guess I would just encourage everybody to get on Veterans Referring Veterans and, look up the businesses, join, and do what you can to help support other fellow veterans like myself, like yourself, that are just trying to do business, doing something that we love, and helping the veteran community in the process.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that, and I'll give you that $10 after this.
Okay, cool. Cool. I'll get my PayPal address. All right.
No, I appreciate that, because that's, the more the VRV gets out there and kind of becomes a household name, the more everybody that grows within it. So, and that's what it's all about. So I appreciate that very much. So, well, right on, man. Well, thanks for jumping on with us for a bit, and enjoy that winter that's coming here real soon.
Yeah, we don't say that word. You're gonna have to edit that out, because that's
Oh, all right, Shawn. Well, till next time, everybody go check out his stuff. It's truly amazing. I absolutely love it. And thanks for spending some time with us, brother.
All right,
man. See ya.